Today, we are going to be debating our EAFC Team of the Years for this year. So obviously there are a lot of selections, there are a lot of players to choose from, and in today's video we're going to pick from 1 to 11 our personal teams. Not our predictions, our preferred and personal teams. So let's start off with the goalkeeping position. So Harv, who is your preferred goalkeeper of choice for this year's Team of the Year?
For me, I had 3 keepers at hand to choose from.
3?
Yeah,
that many?
It was actually sort of a tough choice because Ter Stegen was massive in Barcelona's title win. And he is a very, very crucial player for them. He's been absolutely outstanding throughout the year of 2023. Okay. Ederson, of course, won the treble. He is arguably the reason they won the Champions League final with the insane saves that he made as well. But for me, I think you have to go none other than Alisson.
I thought you said Onana then. I was about to say, hang about, you can't choose Onana.
I ain't doing Onana, not officially.
He's not in the shortlist though, is he?
I don't know.
He better not be in the shortlist.
I don't think he is.
And yeah, I went with Alisson as well because ultimately he has been the best goalkeeper this year. Yes, he hasn't won anything like Ederson has or Ter Stegen, but he is the best goalkeeper. He's the best all-round keeper in the world. But Courtois would have probably been in with a shout if it wasn't for the fact he did his ACL.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly.
His injury sort of really did impact him getting into the team. It's a good shout, but I mean, Real Madrid haven't actually. I don't think they won a trophy in 2023, and they might have won one trophy, but it wasn't one of the big trophies. So they might have won one of the cup competitions, but you don't really get a Team of the Year vote because you won a cup competition in Spain. It's just not.
And it wasn't like he saved Real Madrid countless times like Alisson did for Liverpool last season.
If you're talking about the year before 2022, Courtois was brilliant that year, and obviously
and between him and Alisson that year, they're the two main candidates.
It's fantastic he was, but I don't think you can put him in for 2023. And Alisson for me he has to be in there.
I agree
for number 1. And moving on to right back, Zach, who have you got in the right back position for your Team of the Year?
So, I have gone with none other than Trent Alexander-Arnold. And let me tell you, if maybe Trippier or Walker were in the nominations, because they weren't picked on the shortlist, I would have probably gone with either of those over Trent, because I think they've been better over the whole year.
Yeah.
But from the nominations, I think Trent's a standout candidate. Easily the most creative fullback on that list in terms of what he can do with the ball, the way he creates chances, second to none. And yes, Frimpong's had a good year for Leverkusen.
Yeah, I've heard about Frimpong in a shout.
There's a few other players on there that I was thinking maybe, but I think it's got to be Trent. His quality is just. I know he hasn't had the best year in terms of he's had better years gone by. He's been good the last sort of 4 or 5 months, but the start of the year is a bit shaky. But he was just an utter quality player.
For me, I think it's an absolute abomination that Kyle Walker's not in the shortlist.
Kyle Walker and Trippier got
whether Kyle Walker's in the team is another debate. For me, he is, but he's not in the shortlist. So obviously, I've not picked him. I've gone for Trent. But the fact that he's not in the shortlist, Kyle Walker,
it doesn't make sense. It's
joke.
recency bias because Trent's been better recently. Isn't it?
But it's the fact he's not in the shortlist. Yeah. Like, how can you not even be in the let alone the team? That's a different conversation. But the shortlist, Kyle Walker not in the shortlist. EA, I don't know what you're watching. Are you watching football? I don't know. You must have just missed half. They must have been watching football since June last year, honestly. But I have gone for Trent, and I know people would be like, well, he hasn't had a great calendar year. I actually dispute that because since he moved into that new role, it's actually sort of the start of the calendar year that he did move into that new role.
It was around April time, wasn't it? March, April.
And he got, since moving into that new role, he actually got 1 goal and 7 assists in the 2022-23 season when he moved into that new role. And it's actually not bad. Not bad stats at all. And then obviously he's been absolutely immense this season. He's been the best right back in the world bar none. I don't think you can sort of argue that his
quality is just far greater than any other fullback. In terms of creating, defensively, it's still a liability here and there, but
I think when you think of Trent as well, I know people will argue about last season, but I thought of so many great moments last season. The likes of when he nutmegged Zinchenko, crossed it in, Firmino scored. The likes of when Trent scored against Leicester, that free kick. Yeah. Absolutely lethal free kick. These are all things that happened last season. And of course, this season, we've seen absolutely a different Trent Alexander-Arnold. One of the best versions of Trent we've seen.
Over the summer, isn't he?
I mean, since that new trim, he's just been absolutely top-notch.
1920 Trent returned.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't dispute Trent, I don't think, in this Team of the Year. When you look at the shortlist as well, so Trent, for me, 100% right back.
So now let's move on to our centre-back pairing. So Harvey, who are your 2 centre-backs?
I've gone for Ruben Diaz and I have gone for William Saliba.
Okay. I'm surprised you picked an Arsenal player.
Yeah, I know people probably won't.
Wait, before you touch on Diaz, did you pick Saliba for the same reason? Just a heads up, I picked him as well because apart from that little injury, every time he plays, he's good. He's consistent. Yeah. He's arguably Arsenal's best player.
I actually think he's been slightly underrated in terms of picking for Team of the Year because I know, literally no one has.
Because Arsenal haven't won anything, isn't it?
I get that, I understand that, but there's quite a few Liverpool players that do get into the Team of the Year that people have been putting in. And they haven't won anything either. No. And Arsenal have actually had probably a better calendar of the year when you look at the grand scheme of things. And Saliba has been an absolute crucial part of that. He's, for me, one of the best defenders in the world. And I think to not have him in the Team of the Year would be so harsh because when you see him play, he's a Rolls Royce of a defender. And I don't say that lightly. He really is.
He's got all the qualities, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think for me it's ridiculous not to have him. Like I said, he's Arsenal's most important player. He's the reason they even finished second last year.
Yeah.
And when you look at him play, Saliba, he's fast, he has elite composure, he has great distribution, elite passing, and he's one of the most feared defenders in the world right now. And he's got a very good discipline record, because I don't even know he's got a red card this season.
I don't think he has, and he doesn't even get many yellows neither.
Exactly.
Now you say that, when I think about it, like some defenders
Rolls-Royce, mate,
are a bit more rash than Saliba.
Yeah.
Even someone like Konate, being a Liverpool fan, I rate him highly, but he sometimes gets quite a few bookings for being a bit
even my other defender, Ruben Diaz,
a bit more overreactive in the challenge.
Yeah.
And even Ruben Diaz sometimes
he's
does
more rash than someone. Saliba's probably one of the most composed defenders in the world. In fact, he is. Not probably, he is. And I think to not have him in the team of the year is genuinely outrageous, because I think when you watch him play, and I know people will probably think it's Premier League bias, and it is to an extent because I don't watch other leagues as much. But when you have watched Saliba this year, or the 2023 year,
he's always consistent.
I don't even know a bad game that he's had. I can't pick out a memory, like something in my mind, and think, oh, he's had an absolute stinker of a game. I don't think he actually had one. So I think you have to have Saliba in a team of the year, and I think the fact that not many people do, I think is genuinely outrageous. I think that's very harsh on Saliba. I think he has to be in a team of the year.
I agree. And I see you went with Ruben Diaz over maybe John Stones or Van Dijk. Personally, I went with Van Dijk because I think since April he's been the best defender on the planet. He's been absolutely imperious this season. But why have you gone for Diaz over maybe Stones or Van Dijk?
I think Stones has been injured a lot, so you can't really put him in.
Well, even though that first sort of 6 months
it was great. Listen, he's fantastic.
He was almost that sort of player that unlocked City's sort of 58th dimension in terms of dropping into midfield.
I mean, listen,
his ball control and his ability to spray passes and stuff.
Down to Pep's intelligence, obviously, he's sort of had a new role in that centre-back position. But for me, Ruben Diaz is arguably the reason that City did do the treble, because when he came in against Tottenham away after they lost, he came in and they went on an absolute outrageous run. Like, they didn't lose until I don't think they lost until they played Brentford, actually. So they went on an outrageous run, and he is the reason that they arguably have done trouble, because he has been immense. He's one of the most consistent defenders in the world. I think when you look at consistency, I know he's had a couple of injury issues, but
this
they've not
season,
been long-term.
He hasn't been as good as he was last
He
season.
hasn't been, no, but I just think that because of his start, because of his because of his start to the year in 2023, I think that he has been that good, and he has been very consistent throughout the year, in my opinion. Yes, this season he's not been to the levels that he was, but I think
He's still played at a decent level.
Exactly. He's not been.
It's hard to replicate that form.
Yeah, exactly. He's not an absolute stinker of a season. No. It's not like we're talking. When Van Dijk had that bad, he went at the start of the year in 2022. He was really good, and then obviously had a sort of bad start to the 22-23 season. It's not been that level.
That's probably fair. Yeah.
So I think Diaz has just been very consistent, and I think to not have him in, I think he'd be quite outrageous for me. And I think that Van Dijk at the start of the calendar year wasn't too great.
I just think from April till now, he's been the best defender in the world.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
That sort of like last bit where Liverpool picked up form late, and then since the start of the new season, he's just been imperious.
Yeah, I just think for me, and it's probably just my opinion on it, I think for me Diaz is just underrated when you look at City's treble win, because I don't know if City
don't get the same recognition as Diaz.
He just I mean, you got like De Bruyne and Haaland talked about as why they won Team of the Year, same as Rodri as well. But I think Diaz for me is one of the most underrated pieces in that sort of puzzle for the treble win for City. And at left back, Zach, who have you gone for? Because left back for me, the shortlist, and I haven't. All the players I've looked at, I'm not gonna lie, it's not a great choice.
It's not like the names of years gone by.
No. When you look at like some Marcelo and Robertson and all them elite left backs that you used to put in, they're just not on that level. But anyway, who've you gone for left back, Zach?
So I went with DiMarco from Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't watch a lot of Serie A, but he was so important for Inter Milan in that run to the final last season. An instrumental player. He creates chances. He scores goals. He's consistent. And I just think he's got to be in. Yes, Theo Hernandez, you can make a case for him.
That's what I've gone for.
Really?
Yeah.
You can make a case for Grimaldo as well.
I've heard Grimaldo.
But players like Ake and Estepinian, although they've been very good in the Premier League and they've been good in the other competitions they played in, I don't think they're on the same level as those other three.
No,
and Robertson's been injured since October, and even then, he wasn't as good throughout the whole of 2023.
And Zinchenko don't get in there for me at all, so he's nowhere near it, to be.
But you went with Hernandez over DiMarco. Any reason for that in particular, or was it just sort of...
a particular reason. Obviously, he does... what goes with him is just sort of that known repertoire about him. Like, he has a very known reputation. Like, we know Theo Hernandez is arguably one of the best...
He has been for the last 3-4 years.
One of the best left backs in the world, and I think that sort of goes with it. DiMarco, I haven't watched enough of. I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched loads of Theo Hernandez, but when I have watched him play, because obviously I've seen him in the Champions League, he actually has been one of AC Milan's better players. Like, when you look at when AC Milan attack, I know it helps that they got Rafael down there, but when you see when AC Milan attack, he's on that left hand side and he's bombing on forward, and he's great defensively as well. And I remember when
a lot of recovery pace.
He has, yeah. I remember watching against it was Tottenham, AC Milan in the Champions League round of 16, and Theo Hernandez was the best player on the pitch. Like, he was immense that game, and I think
for left back to reach that level.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It shows the quality of him, and I think he's just sort of a safe choice. I'm not gonna lie. Like, everybody knows him, but DeMarco, I mean, you can't really complain because he obviously helped Inter get to a Champions League final. So it's sort of a toss up between them two, in my opinion. Grimaldo's a good shout as well, but yeah, someone like Zinchenko, like I said, doesn't get involved. So it's probably out of those three, but you could sort of just.
You make a
toss
case
the
for
coin.
even.
It's not. I'm not gonna lie. There's not great depth for left backs this year. It's arguably the worst. Been the worst choices for left back in the team of the year because
for a long time
there's not a left back. Like, even with Pictu Hernandez, I've not went. Yeah, he's definitely in. He's been immense this year, and I wouldn't have done that with any left back. Whoever I'd have picked, I wouldn't have just looked at it and think, yeah, he's definitely in.
So now let's move on to the defensive midfield slot. So Harv, who have you gone for in the number 6 position? I think I can already hear the name coming off your lips.
Rodri.
Yeah.
Best defensive midfield in the world, without doubt. No debate. Scored crucial goals for City.
This is the easiest position, I think, in the whole entire team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I think this is a shoe-in.
Yeah,
no questions asked.
Yeah, it's not even anyone that's near his level. Like, it's not like anyone else has been good as well.
Like yes, Rice has been good, but over the whole year...
Yeah, Rice ain't on
Rodri's different, isn't he?
He's just not. Like, Rodri's been that good, and there's not been that many good defensive midfielders. Like, you haven't got the likes of your prime Busquets anymore.
Or your Casemiro.
Your Casemiro's, of Real Madrid.
Fabinho's obviously he's gone Saudi. Kante's gone Saudi.
These players aren't knocking around anymore, and Rodri is just head and shoulders above everybody in that defensive midfield position, and it's just no debate. Like you said, probably is the most spot-on place in the team. Rodri is probably the first man in that team.
Clutch goals, passing ability, the way he reads his game. He's probably City's most important player.
Yeah.
He's just, and every week he at least performs at a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, he always,
You can't beat consistency, can you?
Exactly. And like I said, he scored, like I said earlier, he scored crucial goals for City to win the treble. Scored a goal against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals.
That's on his weak foot as well.
And he scored probably City's most iconic goal in their club's history, bar Aguero's. Obviously, you got the Aguero's, but one of, well, I'm not going to sit and debate that, but one of City's most iconic goals to go and win the Champions League and solidify that treble. So, absolutely, Rodri, no debate. And now it's on to the two number 8. So, Zach, I have gone for Jude Bellingham and Bernardo Silva. Have you gone for the same?
Exactly the same. So, personally, a lot of people would probably be saying, why haven't you gone with De Bruyne? But personally, I think that Kevin De Bruyne has had a very good first start to 2023. But because of that injury, you can't put him in the team over a Bellingham who's completely revolutionised Real Madrid and was good at Dortmund prior. And Bernardo Silva's just an utter joke. The way he can play so many positions to a high level, go check out our short and our video on him. I don't dislike him. I dislike him as a player, as a person, because I'm a Liverpool fan and he chats all this stuff online and doesn't clap when we win the title. But as a player, he's one of the best we've seen in that position for a long time. What position is he? Is he an 8? Is he a right winger?
I think
he can play in the DM. He can play. Play so many positions to a high level, and he's got to be in this team.
I'm not going to sit and argue if you did put De Bruyne in. Like, I understand why you put De Bruyne in. I think it just
seems harsh on the other team.
As I think he's been out for so long. For someone like Bernardo Silva, again, who I talk about consistency with Ruben Diaz, Bernardo Silva's been more than consistent throughout the entire year.
I think he's been City's best player by Rodri this year.
Yeah, he probably has. And Bellingham has probably been the best, not right now, until I think De Bruyne is the best midfielder in the world, but Bellingham has been arguably the best midfielder of 2023. So
yeah, I know the last 6 months it's hard to say because at Real Madrid he was almost playing as a striker and a number 10 advancing on. But
if you look at Dortmund, for example, he carried them to a title race. Like, he was their captain
and that was as a midfielder, as like an 8. It wasn't as a 10.
Wasn't like an attacking role.
No.
And obviously he moved to Madrid, and for me, he's probably evolved his game even more. I know it's because he's been playing further up the pitch.
Shows you his adaptability to play different positions, doesn't it? At a young age as well.
Exactly. And like I said, he's arguably, I don't think he is, but he's definitely up there for one of the best midfielders in the world, and I think you have to put him in the team. I just don't think there's no debate. And like I said, Bernardo Silva, top-notch, top-quality player. Got to put both of them in, I think. No, not really too much of a debate there, unless you've got De Bruyne in there.
Yeah, because the years gone by, Kroos and Modric would have obviously been top of your list. But over the last year, Real Madrid haven't had a stellar year. And although those two are still performing at a high level, well, Kroos is, I know Modric has tailed off a bit. Bernardo Silva and Bellingham have had unbelievable years and they've got to be in the team.
Can't miss them.
So now let's move on to the right side of the front three. So Harv, who have you gone for in that position?
I've gone for Mohamed Salah.
Easily.
I think it's just not really too much of it. I'm not going to lie, Salah's not had a great, in terms of aesthetically, when you watch him play, he's not had a great 2023.
I agree.
But there's just no one up there to put
the numbers and the output is off the scale.
Exactly. Well, he scored 50 goals, he got 25 assists in the entire campaign, or entire calendar year of 2023. So you can't really argue with him. I get they talk about Messi with the World Cup, but that's happened.
That was 2022.
And they talk about Messi winning the Ballon d'Or, which I get. I understand that he's won the best player in the world award, but I don't. He scored 1 goal in MLS all season. This season 23 24. So
and Salah's got like 15 in the league, 14, 15 in the league.
Exactly. That's
in the
thing.
Premier League.
Top goal scorer in the league at the moment. Top assist, well, joint top goal scorer with Haaland at the moment.
And joint top assist as well.
Joint
I think he's with Ollie Watkins.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You can't
top in the charts, like you said. Although he's not the most athletically pleasing player, he's not the most visually pleasing to watch.
Yeah.
But when his numbers are that good, and then you look at the likes of Saka, Rodrigo, even Bowen, who may sound like an outrageous shout, but these sort of players aren't.
Well, he's in the shortlist, Bowen. So
yeah, these are all good players. Well, there are some of them even borderline elite players, but Salah is just, since he's joined Liverpool, he has been the best right wing in the world for the most prolonged period. Yes, Messi has been here and there, and other players maybe have had better, like a better few months than Salah.
Yeah.
But if you're going from 2017 till 2023, I know that's not the team of the year, but if you're going off that period, Salah's been by far the best.
And I would have put someone like if I could change formations all that jazz, I would have put someone like Harry Kane in. But I just thought when you look at the right wing position, I can't put Harry Kane in the right wing because he's not a right winger. But I would have, if I could, like fit him in there, I would. Not even just because I'm biased or anything.
But you've got to go to 4-3-3. That's what they're going with.
That's the thing. Yeah, you have to go to 4-3-3. And I'm not even like trying to be biased. I would have someone like Kane in there over someone like Salah, but I'm going to stick to the positions that you got. And like that's why I've gone for Tio Hernandez at left back, because you could arguably put Kim Min-jae in there, but I'm not going to do it because he's not left back. It's the same with Salah. He's a right winger, and there's not really anyone that's been on his level this 2023. And the main reason actually I put him in is because he's never actually got a team of the year. So I mean,
criminal, isn't it?
I know,
really?
that's the thing. You think how good he has been. It's because Messi's obviously been and playing at the top level. So if you think how good Salah's been,
He didn't play the right wing the whole time. He's played centre forward and 10.
I mean, listen, he's absolutely deserved the team of the year through the past years. I think he's been robbed of quite a few. So I just don't see how you can not put him in, because even if you don't really rate his year of 2023, he just deserves one. Like the guy's not had one as well now. Like he deserves one.
Definition of consistency from that position.
He is, yeah,
apart
exactly.
from Messi and Ronaldo, I've never seen a more consistent player for a long time.
Output, always puts great output, and he has been crucial to Liverpool for not even just 2023, but just the past a few years. Like you can't argue. Like he deserves a team of the year. The guy can't go his whole career without getting a team of the year. It'd be absolutely criminal for that to not happen. So for me, Salah, he sort of has to be in there, doesn't he? And now we move on to left wing. So Zach, who have you gone with at left wing?
Well, I know there are a lot of candidates, like maybe Rafa Leao, maybe Vinicius Jr., but it's obviously the man on screen, Mbappe.
Yeah.
I think, although he hasn't had his best year, I know last year maybe he was better. There's no other, like I said, there's no other players who come close to his level.
No, he's not.
When he's at his peak, he is the best player in the world. I think him and De Bruyne, when they're functioning on all cylinders and they're firing and they're scoring goals, creating chances, I don't think any two players in the world really are at that level at the moment. He's got so much ability, and I think there's even more to come from him, which is scary. But yeah, he's a shoo-in in that left wing position. Exactly. Have you gone with him as well?
Yeah. It's just no debate. For me, he is probably the best player in the world. I think he is the best player in the world.
He's aesthetically pleasing, and he puts out goals and assists.
You can't argue with him. Like he just is world class in every attribute there possibly is. There's no
apart from
debate
free kicks. I don't think he's ever scored a free kick in his career.
Maybe that's a shout, But listen, the guy, he's a big game player. He steps up when you need him to. He is just elite, and you can't not have him in. Like I said, to me, he is the best player in the world. Mbappe, I just don't think that you can't have me sitting there saying he's the best player in the world and then not having my team of the year. So you can't. I mean, like you said, Vinicius Junior is a good shout. He's a great shout, but
he's not been Mbappe.
He's not really won much. I know Mbappe hasn't, but Mbappe has just been elite. Like he is the best player in the world. Like I said, world class in every attribute. Just you can't debate it.
Mbappe and Trent have a lot of similarities in the sense of, yes, maybe not all the time are they the best in their position. Like Vinicius maybe might have a better few months, or maybe Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
But I think when they're all at their best, all those right backs and all those wings are at their best, Mbappe and Trent are just generational talents.
Yeah.
You can't come close to what they produce in their positions.
I mean, they're going to be in team of the years for the forbidden future. Like we're going to see them.
You would expect so if their careers sort of follow the same path.
Exactly. We're going to see loads of them in team of the year. So yeah, no debate needed. Mbappe at left wing without doubt.
So let's move on to the striker position. So, who have you gone with up top? Who's your number 9?
I have gone for Erling Haaland, and I probably gave it away earlier when I said I'd have put
I was thinking that. I was like,
so I sort of give it away, unfortunately. But yeah, I've gone for Erling Haaland. I really wanted to put Kane in, but you can't leave out Haaland with all the records he's broken. And I just think, have you gone for Kane? Have you?
Yeah.
Have you? That's a big call. He's won the treble with Haaland.
I know, but the thing is,
I can't believe I'm started debating against Kane.
I know. That's what I was thinking. That's why I was shocked. But the thing is, it's hard to obviously vote against Haaland. Like Harvey said, he's won the treble, 50-odd goals in that season. I know it wasn't the whole of 2023, but the thing is, Harry Kane, what he's done in the Tottenham team for the first 6 months, which is a bang average team, and he's carried that Tottenham team for years, moves to Germany. I know Germany's not the hardest league, but he's almost going to break Lewandowski's record. He's a goal machine. His hold-up play is brilliant. His passing range is immense. And I think Haaland, I always say this, and I know this is unfair on Haaland because you can't take away from the goals he scored, but if you take him out of that City team, I still think they win the treble.
Yeah.
But Kane, his importance to Bayern Munich and Tottenham, I know this is not the reason to put them in the team, but his importance to Tottenham and Bayern Munich is far more greater than Haaland's importance to City.
Yeah,
I just think Kane is also the more complete player, and the player who I would have in my team if I was to pick a star 11, I'd choose Kane over Haaland.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's hard to leave out the big Norwegians.
Kane, for me, is the best striker in the world. I do think he's the best.
But you said Mbappe's the best left wing in the world, or the best forward, and you got him in your team, so why not have Kane in?
Because Haaland's just had that good of a year. There's no one like if there's a City left winger who's like, you can't put Jack Grealish over Mbappe, for example, but Haaland you can, because he's broke unbelievable amount of records. He's won a treble, and we've not really seen that apart from United's treble team. We've not seen a striker win a treble like that. For Premier League team. So, and he's even still top goal scorer now at the time of recording in the Premier League as well. So I just think you have to.
It must have been tight though between Kane and Haaland.
Yeah, it was. Like I wouldn't like instantly put Haaland in.
Haaland will win though.
He will win. Yeah, and I did want to put Kane in, but the year that Haaland had, if he hadn't won a treble, I'd have put Kane in. But because he won the treble and he was the top goal scorer of that, I know if you take him out, arguably they still do it, but just with the goals that he's put up and the numbers he's put up, and the fact that he's won a treble, I just think you have. And he also got second in the Ballon d'Or as well. I just think it's really, really hard to leave him out.
I'd have played a 4-2-4 and had both of them up top, Kane and Haaland.
Yeah, if I could change formation. I'd put Kane in. Because Kane, listen, Zach's right. I mean, I think his achievement of scoring 30 goals last season for Tottenham is underrated. I mean, no one even talks about that. The fact that he scored 30 goals in quite literally a mid-table side.
Would you finish 7th or 8th?
Ridiculous, 8th.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it is ridiculous the fact that he got 30 goals in an 8th place team, only 6 behind Haaland. But unfortunately, for my sake as well, I'd love to put Kane in, but I just have to put Haaland in. But next year, the way Kane's going, I think Kane could do it, because he's on track for winning the Bundesliga. He's on track for possibly winning the Champions League, and he's on track for possibly winning the Euros.
And that would be like the set.
And I think that could maybe push him to a Ballon d'Or.
Well, I think I can make him number 1 candidate.
Yeah,
but obviously that's next year. But
that's next year. Yeah,
this year, I think to round up those two, the striker position was the hardest to pick from.
Yeah.
And possibly midfield, there is some debate in midfield, but I think years gone by there was a lot more controversy. When you had Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Casemiro, Modric,
I remember picking my team in years.
Benzema, Neymar, Suarez, Messi, Ronaldo, whereas now it's a bit more conclusive, isn't it?
I remember picking my team in years of the past, and I used to struggle so much.
Exactly.
But this year, I just thought, with quite a few of the positions, I've just thought...
He's in there, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, I just thought, like, I'm putting this guy in, for example, Salah. Like, I'm not trying to discredit him, or Tio Hernandez is a very good example. I put them in and think...
Surely there's someone better than Tio Hernandez out there.
Like, that's the thing. I put them in and think, listen, they've been the best in the position, but they've not played like a team of the year player.
No, yeah.
And it's just, I mean, Trent has because of this season, but you could argue Trent, like, there's no Kyle Walker in the shortlist. So I'm just looking at Trippier, yeah. Exactly, and I think it speaks a lot of numbers, the fact that we haven't even got any Barcelona players in our team of the year. And the fact that we've got one Real Madrid player.
Yeah, I mean, when years gone by, they took out 10 or 11 of the positions, didn't they?
They used to literally cover...
Messi, Ronaldo, Neuer, they take the whole team.
Messi, Ronaldo, Suarez used to always be team of the year. And then you used to have Iniesta, Busquets, Xavi, and all that, Modric, Kroos, and then obviously the defenders like Ramos, Piqué, for example, Marcelo, Dani Alves. I mean, it's crazy, ridiculous, isn't it?
Most of those teams have gone downhill, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of quality stars.
It shows the level of the team of the year now. It's certainly not got the hype, and it's certainly not got the players that it used to have. Because, like I said, I'm looking at... Same with Mbappe. Mbappe, for me, is the best player in the world, but he hasn't played like a team of the year player. I feel like there should be more debate around these positions, but, like, I'm not going to lie, apart from the striker, my front three was pretty easy. And like I said, these players haven't played like a team of the year player. So I was just looking at thinking, like, they go in, but, like, it's just weird picking them. There's just no debate.
But even like Rodri, for example, amazing player. What a brilliant year he's had. But and he's arguably been top 3 players in the world. But even when Busquets was at his best, which was better than Rodri, he wasn't top 3 because you had so many elite stars.
Exactly, that's the thing.
During that period.
Same with Modric and Kroos. I remember when Modric won a Ballon d'Or, and even he was talked about. It's like, should he be in? Should he not? There's still the good midfielders out there, and now you got nothing.
Yeah.
But I think it shows the decline of football recently.
That's a debate for another day, but in terms of the real elite players, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Comment down below your team of the year predictions for EAFC. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.